Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a empties video. No, this is not a haul, this is garbage. I just don't have a better way of storing things, so I don't have anything cute for you guys. I'm just literally here to talk about all of the trash that I've been collecting. I want to say over the past like 2 months maybe. I like doing these videos, even though they don't get a ton of views. I like doing them because I like going through all the products that I've emptied, because it's a chance for me to look back and reflect on whether or not I enjoyed the product and if I would be willing to repurchase it, or if I have already repurchased it. Especially coming from somebody who tries a ton of makeup and skincare, I usually know what I want, and then I'm like, this isn't gonna work for me. It was okay. Not necessary for me to keep using it. So without further ado, because I'm trying to keep this relatively short, let's go ahead and dive into my empties. Okay, so first up we have the simple micellar water. This is really good. I did pick this up at TJ Maxx, I think for $4.99, which is a really good price. You can find this at like your Target, your Walmart, and I think it's closer to like $7 there. So when I see it at TJ Maxx stores, I like to pick it up. I finally get a solid amount of products, and this is probably my favorite when it comes to micellar waters, because it does a really good job at breaking down my mascara and getting everything off so that I can clean my face pretty easily. I do have one of this in my bathroom currently. It's halfway empty, so I will probably repurchase this once that one is done. I haven't seen it at my TJ Maxx lately, but that TJ Maxx has been a little bit struggly as of recent, so I've been missing a couple of key products that tend to show up. So hopefully it comes back, because this is my favorite micellar water. I might have one more in my backup drawer, because y'all know I kept backups of my backups. But right now I'm trying to not hoard backups, because quite frankly things go bad and it just doesn't make a ton of sense. It takes up a bunch of space. It takes me forever to get through anything. So I'm trying not to hoard it. But if you're looking for a really good micellar water, this is the one I would recommend. And I've tried a ton of micellar waters. So next up, I have this mattifying setting spray from BH Cosmetics. This is an old one. This was from their Paradise collection. This one didn't do anything. It was not mattifying. It's not one that I would recommend ever. And quite frankly, I don't think this exists anymore, because it was a part of a collection that they released and then BH Cosmetics sold or went bankrupt or whatever it is. So it's not one that you guys can get, but I will just say this was not great. And it doesn't make me very excited to try any more BH Cosmetics setting sprays, just quite frankly. But I feel like when it comes to setting sprays, I have kind of whittled it down to two. And that is the Charlotte Tilbury mattifying setting spray and the One Size setting spray. If you have oily skin, those will keep you snatched. Everything else is kind of mediocre at best. So this is a repeat offender in my empties. It is the Oxy benzoyl peroxide face wash. This is the one with the maximum strength. So it has a 10% benzoyl peroxide solution in here, which I've been using for some time. I've always said this, but if you are just getting into benzoyl peroxide, please work your way up to it, because it is very stripping. It can cause bleaching of the skin, and it's extremely drying. Now, I have cystic acne, so what my dermatologist always recommended is using benzoyl peroxide over salicylic acid, because salicylic acid does not go deep enough into the skin to help deal with the cystic acne that I have. So I use this for my face. I tend to do it every other day, sometimes every day, depending on if my skin can take it. Once it gets to the winter time and my skin gets drier and drier, I tend to take it back down a little bit, so it's not as frequently. And I will also use this on my body if I'm seeing myself starting to break out, because it's great as a body wash as well if you have chest and back acne, which is what I used to suffer with as well. No, not so much. I do have little flare-ups every now and then, but it's not as bad as it was before. Okay, so I don't really talk about my prescription products very much because they're prescription, but I will also flag that I was recently prescribed Nexton, which is a benzoyl peroxide and clindamycin combination. So I believe it's 3.7% benzoyl peroxide and 1.2% clindamycin. I used to have clindamycin as a separate prescription product that I would use on my face and my chest, and my dermatologist suggested this or prescribed this because it's kind of a combination of the benzoyl peroxide and the clindamycin in one. Now, because I do have the wash as well, I tend to use this I tend to use the wash a lot more sparingly, because I now have this combination product. The wash is a higher concentration though, so I still use it on my chest and my back, which are just thicker skin than my face. But yeah, this is great. Sometimes I will say that I have to like give myself a couple of days off in between using it because it does, you know, make my skin somewhat sensitive. But that's a prescription product, so we're not gonna like linger on that one. Okay, you all know the Holy Grail, the Clinique Moisture Surge Serum. This is one that I've had in my collection or in my routine for at least 5 years at this point. I have so many of these. I go through about one every month and a half, and I keep purchasing this. Now, this is on the pricey side, which is why I like to buy it at the cosmetics company store, because I can either get it for 30% off or higher. And it's one of the best serums, in my opinion, for wearing under makeup. It sinks into the skin really, really nicely. It keeps me nice and hydrated. Even though I have oily skin, I think it's important to hydrate your skin, because if your skin is too dry, it will overproduce oils. And sometimes when it comes to moisturizers that are on the super hydrating side, it can sit on the skin and feel really oily. And this is one that I find sinks into the skin, which means that I can wear it in the mornings so that I can apply makeup over it and it doesn't disturb things and it doesn't create too much excess oils. So, Holy Grail, I've been through countless amounts of that. Like I said, I've been using it for about 5 years at a minimum. Okay, surprising product for me. This is the Fenty Fat Water. This was actually a part of a travel set that one of my friends got for me as a moving gift when I just moved into my new apartment. She got me this. It actually did come with a moisturizer, the moisturizer which has SPF in it. But I finished the toning, it's called a Hydrating Milky Toner Essence. I do think it has the consistency of a toner / essence combined. I thought it was really nice. I thought that this did a really nice job of leaving my skin feeling kind of like hydrated and supple. And I would be willing to pick up a full size of this because I did enjoy how my skin felt. And it definitely worked well as a combination product. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of having products that are supposed to do multiple things. Like if you're a toner, you're a toner. If you're an essence, you're an essence. But somehow this one worked. So I'm not mad at it. And I do believe that this does have niacinamide in there, and my skin loves some niacinamide. So I'd definitely be willing to pick up a full size of that. Now I do have a little mini size. It's more of a deluxe size of the Clinique Smart Night Moisturizer. This is a really, really good one, you guys. I do have a full size that I'm currently using. It is really expensive though. I can't bring myself to buy this at full price with my own money. But I will say that I have gotten this as a free gift several times at the cosmetics company store. I believe the original price of the full size is like $65 or somewhere around there, which in my opinion is way too expensive for a moisturizer. You do not need to spend that much on a moisturizer. I think the Refa moisturizers are really good and they're about $13 on sale. Originally like $26. So I would definitely say go with that one. But something about this night moisturizer just leaves my skin feeling so refreshed. And it really does. I do believe this truly. It really does repair the skin overnight. So when you wake up in the morning, it just is supple and softer and hydrated, but not oily. It's just absolutely fabulous. The only thing I hate is the price. So I have one that I'm currently using. I have another in my backup drawer, both of which I got as free products. So I'm going to keep using it until it runs out, and hopefully I'll continue to get them as free gifts at the CCO because I'm not paying full price for that. Not at that price point. So I actually have a fragrance for you guys, which is not common for these videos. I finally emptied my Laura Mercier Fresh Fig perfume. I love this. I thought it was so nice. Oh my gosh, it's just... I'm actually kind of sad that I emptied this. It smells so good, and I don't think they sell this anymore. I got this at TJ Maxx, and you know, fig is just like an interesting scent to me. It's not one that I would typically go for, but something about it, I was just like, this is amazing. Okay, I'm done, but I really like this, and I didn't realize Laura Mercier did fragrances, and I can say, so far, based on this one, I really like it. I'm not sure what the actual price of this is. I think I paid maybe like $12.99 at TJ Maxx. Given what their price range typically is like, maybe $19.99. But this was a good one. This one was definitely worth picking up. And if I see more from Laura Mercier end up at the TJ Maxx stores, I would be willing to pick it up. I don't think I would go out of my way to like go search this and buy it from Laura Mercier. In terms of fragrances, there are better ones out there, better brands out there. So I wouldn't specifically search this out. But I'm saying if you were to run into this at a TJ Maxx stores, it's probably worth picking out. Okay, so surprising empty for me. I emptied my Kosas concealer. And I say surprising because I feel like I didn't have this long enough for it to be empty. This has 0.2 fluid ounces of product, which, is that standard? Hold on. So my Sephora, how much ounces in here? So the Sephora has 0.3 ounces. This one has 0.2. Okay, I guess it is kind of standard. But I don't know. Something about this, I felt like it finished way too quickly. Now, I have several issues with Kosas as a brand in terms of their colors. Their color stories, their skin tone ranges. They don't ever seem to work for me. It's just me. Now, I picked up this one. It was a little orange, like very orange, kind of clowny. And it was just not the right tone for me. No, I don't think going up would have helped. I think it would have been too light. Going down would have been too dark. So it was just like this was the best that I could do. And I didn't like it. It's also a very hydrating formula. And it smelled weird. I don't know. Something about Kosas as a clean brand, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know if it's the formulation or what, but it's just not meant for me. But I do think that they absolutely need to work on their skin tone ranges because it's not there. Like, it's, for at least for deeper folks, it tends to be very orange. We need more neutral. We need more, less red. We need more golden, but not orange, you know, that type of stuff. So I wouldn't recommend this. It's definitely not one that I'm going to pick up again. Quite frankly, I couldn't use that by itself. I literally had to mix it in with something else so it wouldn't look stupid on me. Speaking about concealers, I have an empty of the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. I really like the formulation of this. It's definitely medium full coverage, a little bit on the thick end, but I do think it blends in really nicely. I think that this is actually a concealer that could double as a concealer, but also as a foundation if you want like a light coverage all around. Now, I like this so much that not only did I empty this one, but I have two in my current concealer drawer. I just think that for the price, this is an amazing concealer. I would definitely recommend using this, picking it up if you need a concealer and you didn't want to pay the crazy prices that I'm seeing now for concealers, like $30, $40. Who is paying that? No. We're not doing that. Just get you the Sephora Micro Smooth. Now, I would say it's probably better suited for oily skin tones, but if you have a dry skin tone, I don't think you can't use it. I think it just is a little better suited for people who want a more mattifying finish. Okay, more skincare. I have an empty of the Clinique Moisture Surge Moisturizer. You guys know how I feel about the serum. This is actually a part of a whole skincare line. Now, the moisturizer, it's not exactly my favorite. I do have a couple of these, which I also got for free. It's definitely a gel formulation, although I feel like this sits on the skin more than the serum, which I feel like sinks into the skin. I think that this is super lightweight and it doesn't hydrate as much as I want it to, so there's that as well. It's just, out of all of the moisturizers I try, it's not my favorite. Is it terrible? No, but it's not one that I would recommend above several others. I think this wouldn't even hit my top 10. Maybe at the end of the top 10, maybe. Now, what would be in my top 10, however, is the Niacinamide Toner from Good Molecules. You guys know this is a staple, holy grail. This is also another product that I've been using for at least 5 years at this point. I would say 3 to 5 years. This is such a good job at brightening the skin. Something about this just leaves my skin feeling brighter and more effervescent. I love this. I have gone through several bottles of this. I've actually kind of hit pause on it as of recent because I'm trying to go through some other toners. You see, the thing is, once I discovered this, I stopped using every other toner. It was just this, especially in the mornings. Like, I would still use my glycolic acid toner at night, but this was my morning toner, hands down, period. So I have a bunch of toners in my collection that I absolutely need to get through before I can go back to this. I do believe I have 2 of these in my backups drawer, but I really, really need to get through some of my older toners before I can go back to my niacinamide from Good Molecules. But that, if I have to recommend one product from Good Molecules, has to be that niacinamide toner. Another product that I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend this from Good Molecules, but it's another Good Molecules product. This is the Discoloration Correcting Serum. Now, they did reformulate this. I do believe this is the newer version of this. Personally, I don't know if it necessarily does anything for my hyperpigmentation. Now, I do get some dark spots when I do have acne flare-ups, But for the most part, not enough for me to say that I've used this and seen like a significant improvement in my skin tone. I actually have been using the Faded Topical Cream, which I think has done a better job at evening out my skin tone, so I wouldn't attribute it to this product. Where I did use this a little bit was when I burned my hand, so I've been using it, but I've also been using my Faded cream to sort of help with the scouring of this, so I don't have a really bad hyperpigmentation. So it's healing over pretty nicely. But I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but please let me know if you actually have used it and feel like it's done something significant. Especially now that they've reformulated it to increase the amount of the active ingredient that's in here, which is in theory supposed to improve the effect of helping with dark spots better and faster. Okay, couple more products and we are almost done. So I also finally emptied my Good Molecules eye cream. This is a really nice eye cream, especially if you have sensitive eyelids. Now, I'm very picky about my eye creams because my lids can be really, really sensitive to eye creams, not to eyeshadow. For some reason, eyeshadow is totally fine, but I've had eye creams that I've put on my lids and I'm like, why is it burning? Dear God. And this was one of the first eye creams that I tried that did not burn my skin. So this is definitely one that I would recommend if you have sensitive lids. And I do think it does a great job at like adding hydration and really kind of like plumping up the lids. The under eye area in case you have like fine lines or whatever. So definitely worth picking up. Couple of brow products. Actually, a lot of brow products. I emptied quite a bit. So first up, the ABH Brow Wiz. This is just tried and true staple. If you know nothing else, you know ABH does an amazing brow pencil. Definitely worth picking up. I say wait for one of the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale and then stack up on this. Then we have the Clinique Super Liner for brows. This is a really nice pencil. It definitely is on the waxier side, so it's very easy to lose control with this and have boxy brows. So I definitely think if you're using this one, you need to be careful. The other thing I don't like about this is that there is no spoolie on the end, so you have to have a separate brush with a spoolie to kind of like fluff out the brows. But very good, solid pigment, and easy to work with if you can control the amount of pigment that gets deposited. Next is the Ulta Slim Brow Pencil. This, in my opinion, is an amazing dupe for the Anastasia pencil. So if you don't have any ABH pencils left and you don't want to pay full price and there's no Ulta sale happening until next year, I would definitely say pick up this pencil. This works almost exactly like the ABH pencil. The only thing I would say is that this one tends to finish a little bit faster, but quite frankly, considering that this is maybe $10, you can usually get it on sale as well and use some Ulta coupons. You could pay like $5 for this, which considering the ABH pencil is about 20 something, $24, I think it's worth it to get this even if you get slightly less product. And then lastly, the Benefit Precisely My Brow. This is my favorite brow pencil. I've decided, you know, I've tried all the other ones and I think that this one is just the best in terms of the level of pigment, the ease of application, how natural it looks, how easy it is to apply and blend out. I just think that this is the best one for me. I actually am currently using one of this. This is another one that shows up in the Ulta 21 Days sale all the time, so you can get it for 50% off. So I like to stack up on this as well. Two last products. Now, this one was a sample that I got for free from a Sephora purchase. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Concealer. This was nice, but I don't think it was anything to write home about. Like, I thought that it was nice, but not one that I was willing to repurchase at full size. Like, I felt like I got enough products in here to use this for about a week and a half, because you're not putting too much concealer on. And quite frankly, I was like, okay, this is fine. But given Charlotte Tilbury prices and the fact that there's the Sephora Micro Smooth Concealer, I was like, there's no way I'm going to buy this at full price. Absolutely not. But overall, if you like the Charlotte Tilbury formulas in general, I think you're going to like that one. And lastly, the Givenchy Prisme Libre Foundation. This is the matte version. I finally emptied this. Now, there's a little bit at the end, but ain't nobody got time to be scraping to get the last drop in this. I gave up. I was like, this is it. I'm considering it an empty. Now, I think overall my feelings on this foundation has changed. While I really enjoyed this the first time I used it, the reality is this is not a very good mattifying foundation. I think that if you pair it with a mattifying primer and a mattifying setting spray, you do get it to be somewhat matte and to last a decent amount of time. But on its own, this foundation does not stand. It does not create a matte enough base where this is going to last by itself. Like, you literally have to prep it with all the other things that I talked about in order for this to last. And when I wear my makeup, I apply my makeup for work, like if I were going into the office. So I'm wearing my makeup for a full 8-hour day. And I felt like with this, I got shiny very, very soon. And I don't know if it's my skin changing, because when I first tried this, I felt like it was nice. But now having used all of this, this is not one I would repurchase if you have oily skin. And I would say that my oily skin is not even the oiliest. So if you are oilier than me, I don't think you're going to like this, because it does not have great longevity. And you have to do a lot of other things for it to stay matte. Just period. Hands down. Like, you have to get a good setting powder, good primer, and a good setting spray. And I know that that should apply for all foundations, but when it comes to a mattifying foundation, it should be able to stand on its own and then be supported by all of those other products, if you know what I mean. So that's just my thoughts on that. Wouldn't recommend picking this up. Okay, guys, so that's it. That is all I have for you in terms of my empties. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of the products that I finished. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on any of these products, whether you've tried it, whether you're interested in trying it, or if you have alternative products that you would recommend for the ones that I am just like, not gonna work, never buying again. So leave that all down below. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Join the fam. You know it's a vibe over here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.